Hello my gorgeous loves out there and welcome. In today's video we are doing a project pan update. Yes, it is time. I actually should have done this video sooner, but I wanted to show you guys how it's going, what I've gotten a lot of use of, if I've used up anything, and you know, all that fun stuff when it comes to a project pan. But before we get into this video, if you're new here, hello, welcome. My name is Bri and I am just a crazy lover of all things beauty, and I like to post a lot of fun, colorful makeup content. I like to do a lot in indie makeup, so if that is what you're into, then please consider hitting that subscribe button and joining this little family. But with that being said, let's get into this video. Hello and welcome my babes. I'm having a wonderful Saturday, just chilling, had some good food today. I'm drinking a little bit of this like bubbly, you know, no sugar kind of alcoholic beverage. So I'm feeling good. It's kind of like a skinny margarita is how I describe that. And my dad's visiting. Life is good. I'm loving life right now, but I do have some results. I feel like I've done pretty good in the past 3 months of panning, and I do want to add some things to this project pan. Now, if you want to see my other project pan videos, I will link them below if you want to see how I did for like an entire year from like last year to the beginning of this year. But this is a rolling project pan. I'm constantly adding to it. This is a project that will be ongoing for me for a while, probably. But before we get into everything, if you're curious about this eye look, this fierce, amazing eye look, I did film it. That video should already be up before this one, and I will link that below. I have the Deep Sea Treasures palette from Cleona on. So pretty. But anyways, that is all I wanted to say before we get into this. So that's basically it. So let's get into this project pan. I'll go based on like how I would put my makeup on my face, like the category. So we'll start off with face primer. So I have these two primers right here. This is the Kimchi Chic, the Effin Smooth Matte Primer. I kind of put a line of where I think it is at in this tube. I kind of like squeezed all the way down with the lid off, and then I kind of judged it based on when the product started to come out of the tip. So I kind of just went like this, and then like at this point I feel like it's like starting to come out basically right here. So I was like, you know what, that's a good gauge. I kind of took some of it away, but where I think it's at this moment. So I'm pretty sure by the next project pan I will already have this finished. Let me like fix the marking here. So I think it's more like at this point, because that's where it really actually started to squeeze out. So by next project pan, that should be pretty much done. And as for the Hourglass one, I feel like I'll need a lot more time to finish this one up, because this is a jumbo size one from Hourglass. This is their Mineral Veil Primer. It's oil free, SPF 15. This was pretty much full when I started using it for my project pan. It was kind of up there, so it's gonna take me a while. It's kind of hard to show you guys like what's in here, but I can tell there's like a good amount still here. I'd say it's probably like at this point. So this will probably not be finished until the end of the year, but I'm sure I'll get through it because I've been using it a lot. I like that it has a little bit of SPF. Even though I use sunscreen, I feel like it's just an added protection when I put on my makeup. And then for foundations, this is where I feel like I've done a really good job at making some progress. So I had the Healthy Foundation from Physicians Formula in my project pan. I'm still, you know, working on it, but it used to be here, then it got to here in the last one, and now it's here. But I use this to mix in with darker foundations to just lighten them up a bit. And sometimes I even use this as kind of a concealer, because right now it's on the lighter side for me. I've gotten some sunshine, so I got a slight tan going on, but I'm gonna keep working on it because I do like the finish of this, and I don't have that much to go. I mean, I used to be like all the way up here when I first started, and now I'm down here. I think that's really good. And then the other foundation, well, it's not a foundation, it's a concealer, but I used it as a foundation because it's too dark to go under my eyes. This is from Too Faced. This is the Born This Way Multi-Use Sculpting Concealer. This is in warm beige. So I actually usually mix this one with this one because it's light. This one's darker to make like my perfect foundation. But I'll show you guys where it was before, and this is where it's at now. So I think I should be done with this by the next update. I mean, it's a big concealer. You get so much product in this concealer, 0.5. That's a lot for a concealer. So it's been taking me some time to get through that one. And then for foundations, these are actually two that I added to my project pan the last update that I did, and I have gone through these things. This is from Zoeva. This is the Authentic Skin Natural Luminous Foundation. I've fallen in love all over again with this foundation. It's a beautiful satin, soft, just effortless freaking foundation. Like, I love this stuff, and I actually thought it was going out of stock, like they were gonna get rid of it, but then they brought it back. It's restocked on Zoeve's website, so I definitely will probably repurchase this. But look at where I'm at now. So this is where I started on my first update this year, and here it is now. In 3 months, I'm already down here. Like, this is a couple pumps away from being done. I could probably even say it's an empty at this point, because I use this almost every day. Like, if I do a couple more pumps, I should be done with this. So I'm gonna call this an empty. But look at that, that's crazy. And then I also had the Stay Naked foundation from Urban Decay. I've done some progress. I mean, this was already low, but I went down a little bit. But because I've been using the Zoeva one so much, I haven't given this enough love, but there's so little in this too that I feel like within 3 months I could probably finish this one up as well. So these two are just pretty much almost gone. And then I'm going now into concealer. So I have 2 concealers here. I feel like I still have some work to do on both of these. This was fairly new when I added it to my project pan, so it takes a lot of time to get through a concealer, and it's so hard for me to tell where it's at. Like, I've tried to look inside, but I need to figure out a way to show you guys, because like, it's just too opaque because everything is on the side of the bottle, so you can't really see inside. But I have been using this a lot, especially to like do cut creases or to set my eyes. Sometimes I use it as an eye primer. But I still think it's good. It's a tried and true. It's the original Shape Tape. It's more of a matte concealer, but we're in the summertime. It's getting super hot. It actually does really well under my eyes, especially during these summer months. Then I also have the NYX Born to Glow concealer. This is so beautiful. I've traveled a lot with this. I plan to continue to travel with this. And this one too is kind of hard to tell if I finished it up, but I mean, it's just one of those like sponges and you gotta squeeze it out. But I mean, you know, I'll probably have this done by the end of the year. So those are my 2 concealers. I mean, not huge results in those, but concealers take so much time to use. You just have to use such a small amount to cover your under eyes. Now let's get into powders, which I didn't realize I had this many powders in my project pan, but I'm a powder girly. I use powder so much. I always have to set my face, and like days where I am filming multiple videos and redoing my makeup, I'm always going in with powder. So I'm surprised I didn't completely use this one up, but this is from Too Faced. This is their Born This Way Ethereal Setting Powder. This is where I was at when I started the line. It was, you know, pretty new, and now I'm down here. I'm surprised it's not even lower. Like, I would expect it to be lower at how much I use this, but that shows you how long it will also take to use up powder. There was so much product in this, but I have a good feeling that I can just run through this in the next 3 months before my next update, because setting powder is life. Like, I may film multiple looks in a day when I'm like off on the weekends, and every time I redo my makeup, I'm always powdering. So how is this not already done? And then I have a bunch of like pressed powders. This one right here is basically finished. I'm gonna call this an empty at this point. This is from Nabla. This is their Close-Up Smoothing Pressed Powder in Medium. This is where it's at. There's little like bits on the pan, and because I'm like a completionist, I'm still going in there, even though like it's probably not doing much because there's so little, and I'm like, oh, you know what, let me freshen up. So this is basically done. Like, look at that. Like, I don't know why I'm still dabbing into it. I should just throw it out, but I just like to make it completely empty, but this is basically an empty at this point. Now I have other ones that need some work. Now the other setting powder, I need to give this some love because I was focusing so much on the Nabla powder that I didn't use this one as much. This is the LYS Triple Fix Translucent Setting Powder. This one has like a slight dip. I don't know if you guys can see. It's really slight. There, you can kind of see it there. There's a little dip right in the middle, but since the Nabla one is pretty much done, I'm gonna now focus on this one. I always use pressed powders to touch up throughout the day. I always use pressed powders to touch up my makeup throughout the day, and I might even throw this in my work bag, so like when I'm at work and I start to get oily, I can touch up. I will probably get way more use out of this if I bring it to work with me. Then I also had the NYX High Glass finishing powder. This one was a newbie added to my project pan in the last update, and I've hit pan on this one. I wasn't expecting it to hit pan because it was pretty full when I first showed it to you guys, but look at that. I think it's because this is so softly pressed in the pan, a lot picks up, so I was able to get that little pan. But I've been loving this because it gives me like a nice soft glow to my face without having to use like some kind of liquid product to get that effect, like those like glowy all over face primers that people use before they use foundation. This basically gives me that effect without using a liquid product that might make me oily. It gives me like that glow from within look, and it's so in the summertime to just be a glowing goddess. So I've been using this quite a bit as a finishing powder. And then the other powder that I had was from Pat McGrath. This is their Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Blurring Under Eye Powder. This one has a little bit of a dent, not really a dent, but this is a baked product, so it was fully dome, but you can see how like the dome is kind of flattened out. Can you guys tell? It used to be like a big dome, but I have been using this quite a bit. I like using this to set under my eyes for brightening. It's such a soft, silky powder, and it is very soft. Like, it's easy to pick up this product, so I'm sure I will get this to be like super flat by the next time you see it. But I mean, powder takes a while, and I'm only really using this under my eyes, so it takes a little longer for me to get through a product like this. So now let's get into bronzers. So I have two here that I had in my project pan pretty much all of last year, and I think one will probably be in this project pan throughout the whole year. But this is the Tarte Park Ave Princess Chisel palette. It's so hard to get through a face palette. It's almost impossible. This will probably take me a year, maybe 2 more years, because there's so much product in here. But I've made a significant pan, and most of the shades, this one has a dent, and I have been concentrating on this shade so much, but it still doesn't even look like I barely used it. I feel like it's hard to tell, but there's a slight dent in it, but all of the other ones, and I use this almost every day. That tells you that face palettes take forever. You don't need to keep buying more pressed powders and bronzers and things like that, because it's going to take you forever to get through something like this. Then I have a single bronzer product. Well, it's kind of a dual because it has 2 shades in it, but this is the Gigi Gorgeous bronzer. This was a collab with Ipsy and Gigi Gorgeous, and this one has a lot of pan in it. I've made even more progress on this one. I'm pretty sure this one will be finished up by the end of the year because I have been digging into this. I am trying to use it up. Probably by next project pan, this should be done. So I will probably focus on this one more than the face palette. And then after that, I can fully give my attention to the face palette. So those are the bronzers. And then I had a blush. Yes, a blush. And girl, you're about to see crazy pan. Like, who pans a blush? I do. This is the Burt's Bee Blush in Toasted Cinnamon. One of my favorite all-time go-to blushes. I wear this to work pretty much every day. Look at that. Look at that, baby. I think I'm actually gonna finish a blush this year, and I have a lot of blush. I'm a lush for blush. I say that all the time. So for me to be able to finish a whole blush out of my extensive blush collection is amazing to me. I adore this. I would even repurchase this. I mean, I won't because I have too many, but if I didn't have such a big collection, this would be like a blush I would buy again and just keep using forever because it's so good. It's such like a nudie blush that goes with every like look. So that was that. And I had a few eye primers, and then I think that wraps it up for the products that were in here. I have the Kaleidos Tone Activator Eye Primer. I've been using this a lot, so I'm sure I can finish this by the end of the year. I mean, it had a lot of products, so I don't think I'll get it done by the next update, but it's hard to see what's in there. But it's a good primer. It's such a good primer. I've been loving that. I also had the MAC paint pot in here. This is the one in soft ochre. This one I'm actually going to throw out because it's basically dried out. I use a lot of it, but you can see it's kind of starting to crack. So I think it's dried out and just too old at this point. So I'm actually going to just throw this one away and call it done at this point. There's no reason to keep using a product that's dried out and old, and it's probably way expired. I've had this for a very long time, so it is time to let this go and rest in peace. But I would say this is an empty. I've used so much of this. It's just more that the product has expired. So that was everything in my project pan. I want to show you guys what I want to add because I feel confident enough to be able to add a few things to this project pan. So I'm going to add some foundations because your girl be going through foundation. So I figured I'd add the Lancome Tinted Idol Ultra Wear. I kind of don't know where this is at because the sides are kind of filled, but I'll look inside of it and try to like remove some of the inside parts so I can see where it's sitting at. And then I'll put a line somewhere. I'll have a line by the next time you see me do an update. But I need to give this some love. I've had it for a while. And I figured I'd also get some use out of the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Foundation. This is another one that I've had for a while. So I need to use this up. It's so pretty. I don't want it to expire or go bad. And I think it's all the way up here. Like, I have barely used this, which is a shame because this is a beautiful foundation. It's a little bit on the more tan side, but because I'm getting a lot of sun exposure, we're in the summer, I'll be able to pull this shade off. But come on, I need to use this. I've had it for a while and I barely put a dent in it, and it's a beautiful, beautiful foundation. And then I figured I would add the Pat McGrath Skin Fetish Sublime Concealer. This one too I've also had for a while. I think I bought it the same time I bought this foundation, and I need to use it. I don't want this to go bad or go to waste. It's a more expensive concealer and it's oh so beautiful. Now I feel like I kind of got a darker shade, but I'm more tan, so I can pull this off as a concealer right now. So I wanted to add that, and then I figured I'd add a few face products. So I wanted to add a cream bronzer. I've been obsessed with cream bronzer, and I've had this one in my collection for a while, so I want to use it up before it goes bad. This is from Fenty. This is their cream bronzer in Macchiato. I want to get a dent in this. I want to use this up. It's a beautiful bronzer. And I feel like these kind of products can expire pretty fast compared to like powder bronzer. So I might as well use this and try to use it up as much as possible. And I figured I would also add a cream blush because I feel like I've had this one really long too. This is the Fenty Cream Blush in Strawberry Drip. This is like a perfect summer shade. This color is so in right now, and I was like, this is so beautiful, and I feel like this is gonna go bad if I don't use it. I need to get my money's worth, and it's a beautiful, beautiful cream blush. Gorgeous, amazing. So I can see myself using this one a lot because it's going to go with so many bright, colorful looks for the summer. So I'm going to add that. I figured I'd add cream products because I just been into cream products so much lately. So I figured I'd add like kind of a glowy highlighting product to this project pan and see if I could get through a highlighter type of product. So I figured I'd give some more love to the Melt blush. I mean, it's called a blush, but this is more of like a blush highlighter dual for me. But this one is in Buzz Kill. It's one of those split duals. This one's more of like a blush topper, but I can definitely get away with this one as a highlighter. So I was like, you know what? I need to give this love. I had it for a while. It's more of a pricey product. And it's so beautiful, and this is like a highlighter I could use with so many different looks, and I could top this over my fun bright summer blushes this summer, so why not add these two? I'll try, because I didn't do that well with my glowy blush that I had in my Project Pan, the Natasha Denona one, which I ended up taking out. But because this is like a 2-in-1 and I could use this with other blushes and as a highlighter, I might as well try to use that one up as well. All right, my loves, so that was everything for this Project Pan. All of my products, all my progress, everything that I'm going to add. Like I've said in all of my Project Pan videos, I have been enjoying doing this so much. It's helped me get through so much makeup. It's helped me rediscover old favorites, and it's also made me want to buy less. Now, I do buy makeup because I still review things here and there, but I've definitely bought a lot less than I usually would, like less foundations, less powders. I haven't felt the need to keep buying new bronzers because bronzers take forever to get through. Now, I've been buying a lot of blush. I can't help it, okay? I love blush a lot as well as eyeshadow, but in the complexion category, I feel like I've cut down a lot with the spending because I have a lot, and I have a lot of good things. So that was everything, guys. I do hope you enjoyed this Project Pan update. I would love to hear from all of y'all in the comments below. Are you doing a Project Pan? Have you been working on using up your makeup, or just what are you up to? I would love to hear it from all of y'all. And if you're new here and you enjoy this video, you like a lot of fun, colorful makeup content, you like a lot on indie makeup and Project Pans, then please hit that subscribe button and join this little family. I would love to have you here. Also, don't forget to check out the description below. I will link my other Project Pan videos if you want to check those out, and other videos of mine that you might be interested in watching. I will also have my makeup link. Like I said, I did film this look, so that video will be in the description as well. I will also have my contact and my social media platforms. I'm also on Instagram as Breezy Lifestyle. I'm Breezy_beauty. So if you want to join my Instagram fam, I would really love that. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video and for hanging out with me for a little bit. I really appreciate all of y'all, and I just hope all of you are doing well wherever you are in the world, and I'm just sending you guys so much light and love. But until next time, bye guys.